We have Element Apothic and Twist to Access, also contributors to our community in terms of spirit, energy, and information. We actually will not only be financing them this week and distributing to them, but we will also be inviting them to a panel so you can dive in and dig deep with them on exactly the kind of changes that they're making with the use of the funds. And then my most favorite announcement will be that in terms of Fiscus Central, we have the Fiscus Node Ventures 1 SPV that will also be financed in the coming days. This is incredible. This announcement comes with so much energy, excitement, and also a ton of support to you, the community. We know what this is going to do to the tokenomics of our very first launch. We know what this is going to do for our continued commitment, because remember, this is a long-term engagement. I'm in it for the long haul, and so are the rest. So enjoy the ride with us, enjoy the experience of this, and at the same time, don't forget that off-chain is here. Off-chain is real, and we are the real deal, and we are going to be closing down on these deals with not much further ado. What's remaining? A lot of questions have come up about the definitive agreements. I hear it off-chain just as much as I do on-chain. And these are the contracts that we are going to be prepared to present on Monday to each of the groups for their final review and execution. And with that, the process is right here before us. And we will just be steadily processing the queue of projects that have been already promised distribution. We will be engaging our process both off-chain and on-chain to make sure that there's further movement within the Treasury so that way everybody can see the engagements that we've made actually come to life. If this doesn't thrill you, I don't know what will when it comes to an all-chain event. This is what we've been made of. This is what the thinking has brought us to. This is what the years of relationships have built for us. I was talking to Phil a little bit earlier, and what we've recognized on both of our progress as not only professionals, but people who are really looking to see that kind of impact change out there is that this is where we've been, our purpose has led us. This is what all of our experience has revealed to us to support. So I'm so grateful that everybody has been along the journey and along the ride. I know that there's been a lot of, fears and uncertainty and doubt, but the truth of the matter is we've always had your back, especially off-chain. We are the ones really making sure that these real-world assets come forward, that the real-world assets actually have value, and that the real-world assets bring us to the future of solutions that impact multiple marketplaces, as well as our own individual experience in this token community. I've been very purposeful in keeping myself a little bit on the back burner, kind of outside the community, but listening in, supporting where information needs clarity, and you'll get more and more of that from me as the days continue. Because as we start to distribute, more and more information and more engagement will come from the projects that we are financing. So I'm, again, very thrilled, I feel very humbly honored to be brought into a process that allows my work to shine and allows me to be supported by an incredible team of developers, of thinkers, of knights. I mean, we're moving quite steadily across the chessboard when it comes to global financing. And if anybody has doubts in that, I'm just going to ask you to review all the information that we've presented, all the different AMAs where we've gone in deep with the different conversations, and more importantly, remind yourself of the projects that we're supporting. That's why I put the panels together, and that's why we're going to continue every Fiscus Friday to present all the companies that we're talking about. If you don't know these companies, you don't know what's in your wallet. That's one of my bottom line phrases to people. If you don't understand that component, then you're not understanding exactly what we're all experiencing. So understand the details, obviously, of the tokens and how you yourself can further participate and how you can get your community to participate. but launch is about us. And I can confirm and state and affirm that we are ready for this off-chain launch, which is really beginning now, and will quickly be supported by further launches on the token. So with that, I will pass it to Kyle, and I think he'll give us some more insight on exactly what that's going to look like with regard to the token and its movement. Thank you so much, and we'll be in touch.
Well, that's some pretty amazing news, Princess. I can only really imagine how much impact we'd have in supporting projects that are currently in our pipeline, and supporting our investors in our community. That's awesome. Before I kind of get into my points, just a quick audio check. I know that people have had issues hearing me before, so I'm trying something different. Just gonna look at general chat and just see if I can be heard. Am I good with you guys? Awesome, thank you. I want to take a second briefly and acknowledge, I guess, the many sleepless nights and endless efforts that you, Princess, Phil, and the rest of the team put forth to really get this dream of Fiscus into becoming a reality. Kind of see the chatter here in the general channel, and sure, let's get into it. Let's talk about launch. But first, I want to open up by expressing some gratitude, some more gratitude, I guess. There's been a major push by all of our dev and marketing teams as we creep up to launch. And we've also received a lot of support from 2 recently formed committees, and I'll talk more about this later. But, in expressing gratitude, I just wanted to thank everybody for contributing and supporting Fiscus, our teams and our communities. So, it's amazing. It's a project that is, just very special. I think you get that sense of it from the community and how passionate everybody is about it. Now, let's get into, I guess, some big news that you guys have all been waiting to hear. Let's hear about the launch date. But first, I think it would be sort of a crime to get into launch date without really getting into some operational updates first. Quickly, our legal team has been drafting the framework for compliance, and we anticipate this being completed over the next couple of weeks, hopefully next week, but call it 2 weeks, sort of at its longest. We're also working with the marketing team to create educational material on how Fiscus works, and also creating other guides to simplify more of a general understanding for those who are new or unfamiliar to the process. A community contributor, Tyler Durden, he's taken some time and some initiative to help form an informational flowchart of what a project's life cycle might look like. So that was posted to the channel just over the last day or two, and we'll just scrub it with some more graphics and have that available on the website shortly. But that was an effort in itself, and we're very appreciative that he took that initiative to put that together. So I guess, no launch would really be successful without marketing. And I know there's been some confusion, some passion, some interesting thoughts around marketing. So, let's talk about that first so we can understand launch a bit better. Marketing, it's always a hot topic, and, it's one that, a lot of people come at it from different perspectives, different expectations, and one that deserves a little bit of attention. So I'm humbled by the experience, more so the expertise and the patience of the teams that are currently involved. I know there's been a lot of criticism without understanding. So let's get an awareness that the marketing team's focus remains on building brand awareness and impressions. They're not necessarily focused on quick pumps and bringing in sort of the wrong type of additions to the community. And I've commented on this quite extensively in the announcement sub-channel and also in the marketing town hall sub-channel. So if you want to read it, go read my thoughts there. But before I announce the launch date, it's probably a good idea to get into some other updates and not really leave you hanging just on a half-baked marketing update. So I'll get into it. All 15 of our influencers have started their campaign, and as we head into launch, we're excited to see them engaged. We should be seeing some new names in the Discord next week. Both of influencers and additions to the community. But we see that growth as the campaign moves along and our outreach increases. We have a block of paid ads out across Fiscus socials to increase the efforts, bringing in retail investors before launch. And again, these are very focused campaigns. So if you're looking at them wondering, hey, look, these campaigns don't speak to me, that isn't the intention. They aren't to speak to you. They're made to speak to a certain audience, and that's our outcomes. So before there's a lot of comments on it, I just want to get our intentions, our outcomes out there, so you guys understand what we're trying to achieve. Mailer campaigns will start once we hit a certain metric, likely in the next week or so. And in some of our landing pages, we've got a bunch of different domains registered. So we've got landing pages on those domains, and they're aimed to really attract different audiences, speak to different audiences, and these campaigns are created in such a way that again, they display for those audiences, and we intend to have those running next week. We're also taking into consideration that there are high value prospects who are not targetable via traditional programmatic and those types of marketing channels, and we want to make sure that we get in front of them. So we want to talk to them in their native mediums, and that can be done in a lot of different ways. As I said, mailers is one way. We're not necessarily ruling out cold calling, but that's not a medium that we're exploring at the moment. Our campaign ramps up for launch, but it doesn't necessarily phase out once we've launched. As we build momentum to launch, we want to continue that momentum and then continually ramp up post-launch. So, once there's awareness around the project, we'll start more niche conversations with smaller clusters of investors. Now, as you might be aware, we've recently formed our marketing committee. And so thank you for everybody in the Fiscus community who has expressed an interest, and those that currently have been selected to serve on the committee. Your involvement is really what makes Fiscus unique from any other DAO. We value the shared inputs from all community members, and the three that are currently serving on the committee include Rude Awakening, a lot, and Greg BKK. We have 2 more spots we'd like to fill for that committee, so please DM me if you have an interest in applying for these seats, let's say by no later than end of day March 31st. I'll review the applicants over the weekend, and then we'll make an announcement the following week of the finalized and formed committee. So, doing quick math, we're going to have 5 committee members to start on the marketing committee. And I've already commented on what the committee's mandates and objectives are. So you can look at the announcement subchannel if you'd like to read up on that. Moving forward with committees, we're also forming a second committee. It's our projects committee. And so the mandate of this committee will see that the committee works closely with stakeholders like Princess, project owners, and the general community. So they're effectively, again, another conduit on that subject matter. The committee will, they'll even have a hand in reviewing and vetting projects. So more to come on this later, but our initial members include BSID 24 and Tyler Durden. Now we've got 3 seats open on that committee, so we'd love for community members with strong business and financial analysis backgrounds to apply. So if you feel you'd be a fit, again, DM me before March 31st. Last, but an important factor that impacts launch is dev. The dev team, they're rock stars here. They've been hard at work to accomplish their tasks prior launch. Ken, who leads our dev team, he's done an amazing job in leading the team and ensuring that we meet all of our timelines. And our timelines have been aggressive. There's been bumps that have, caused, say, delays in a timeline, but Ken staffed up. They've worked nights to make sure that, in a general sense, we're not off track. So initially, there were some bugs and communication gaps, and these have been resolved. And to bridge some of these gaps, we've initiated morning huddles. So the UX and UI development and the smart contract development teams, they're working more closely together. They're working in unison. It's actually quite special. I enjoy watching the teams work together. It's nice to see it come together. The team's also working hard on all fronts to have all pieces of the project ready for launch. We're scheduled to test integration of the UI and smart contracts sometime early next week. I feel like a drum roll is almost needed here, but I'm proud to announce that our launch is happening here on Thursday, March 31st. So now, look, while we're waiting and working our butts off here to ensure launch happens for the 31st, we still have go, no-go points. And again, while our dev team is confident in delivery for the 31st, our approach is to ensure that we deliver a solid result. So if anything jeopardizes this launch, we'll communicate it to the community. We'll communicate delays, and you guys are welcome to, to comment. And I'm sure, if again that happens, there might be disappointment. But I want to set the right expectations, right? We're going to do everything possible to have launch for the 31st. But in a rare scenario, if something's unforeseen, we'll communicate that, and we tend to have everybody be able to understand that. So anyhow, this wraps up my updates. And before I turn over to Phil to close us out, I'd like to remind us all that as a community, we strengthen and grow together. And we'd like to encourage our members, all of you guys, to really get involved a bit more and help us out. And you can do this by simple things like retweeting and engaging in any of the posts made through any of the social mediums. And just simply help spread the word. I'm sure that now with the announcements that Princess has made, the announcements that I've made, there's a different sense of confidence in the project. You see it moving forward. You see it moving along, and we sort of turn any of those thoughts on criticism towards let's support this thing, right? Because it truly is special. And with that, Phil, perhaps take it away.
Thank you so much, Kyle. And thank you, Princess. Today's monumental. I'd like to take us out with a quote, and before that, all questions, and I know there'll probably be some more AMA questions because obviously we've just announced so much that everyone's been waiting on. So feel free to populate the AMA questions channel, and we'll respond to those here immediately after Fiscus Friday. I'd like to take us out with a quote, one of my favorite quotes. It's by Nelson Mandela. And the quote is, "It always seems impossible until it's done." And with that, wish everyone a phenomenal Friday, and we continue to work and to show you that the proof is truly in the pudding. Thank you, everyone.